You're here.
We made it
You're
back.
in one piece.
We made it back intact.
Okay, good. I
So,
was worried about you.
well, I worried about me, and I also worried about you.
You edited that film together pretty quick, though. It's only been not quite a month since, just about a month.
Well, considering Mayberry Man took a year and a half,
Hmm.
that's pretty good.
Good job.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what was the defining moment in your trip?
Well, it might have been when I almost backed out of going, when I tried to back out of going to Switzerland because that just wasn't working in my mind. And, that was my biggest worry from day one, I think.
Mhm.
And it proved to be justifiable worry because what actually happened was probably worse than what I worried about. But you remember when I called you?
Mhm.
So what were you thinking?
I was in well, I don't remember. I was in my house, or the Airbnb I was in, and the phone rang, and it was pretty early, I think, still in the morning. Wasn't quite
It
10.
was, I think it might have been, you were an hour later, I think.
Yeah,
So I think it was like 7 my time.
yeah. Some things that cost a lot of money, you're just kind of committed to. Like it's not so easy to just like cancel something like the day of
That's
for
certainly
a
a
flight.
prime consideration, but
But now that we look back on it, you would have lost the cost of that flight anyway. So maybe I was wrong to tell you.
well, the thing is, I was
But
worried
you would
about.
have lost your car rental too. You would have lost. Looking back on this trip, do you wish you had bought the 250, $300 ticket for the full week of Starmus?
I struggled with that from day one, and the factors influencing what I should do, I guess, were twofold. Initially, I was going to just go with you because that was the whole plan
Yeah.
to go with you. We talked about that 2 years ago. But then well, two things. When I saw how busy you were going to be, and you were kind of, outlining what I think you talked about 4 hours of sleep a night, and you pretty much called that right, I
I
guess.
didn't actually sleep for the first 4 days. I don't
I
think.
would have been, if I was there, I would have done the sleeping.
Yeah.
But so I was worried about that, and I was also thinking, I'm over here. I think I would be in Chris's way anyway. I'm not really that into the Starmus thing, although I would find it interesting, but not several $1,000s worth interesting.
Oh,
So if I'm investing the money, why don't I just do what I want to do, let Chris do what he wants to do, and we'll fly. That was my thinking.
I got the sense kind of early on that you weren't sure how engaging or fun Starmus was going to be without me, like the different talks and the conferences and your experience at the festival as a ticket goer. And that compared to all of Europe and all like the wonders and the things that it had to offer, you would almost kind of prefer that route.
Other things being equal, yeah, I would certainly have gone just to go to Starmus with you. Um, and like I say, it didn't look like it was really going to work that well.
Mhm. Well,
But it probably would have worked better than it worked. I'm sure it would have worked better than it worked. Um,
it's a beautiful old city, project city in Slovakia. Um, you would have probably gotten around okay. Tell me something that you didn't talk about in the video. Some food that you ate, some little restaurant you stopped at to get a drink. Did you get any like cold beverages while you were there? Did you grab a coffee anywhere that was nice?
I had coffee a couple times at the airport. I had a very good meal at the airport, surprisingly so. I wasn't expecting a whole lot, but they actually had a vegetarian plate, and I ended up with a salad with a lot of good stuff in it.
Mm-hmm.
I had a steamed version of pretty much the same thing. We went out someplace with the church group afterwards, and that wasn't very impressive food wise.
England is not known for its cuisine.
Okay, maybe that's it.
What was your experience of even London as an English speaking country against what you thought it would be like?
I was expecting better behavior from the natives, put it that way. Uh, I was surprised because my trip to Japan, they were so friendly. They really treated me very well at the airport. And Ataro's family was wonderful. So, that was my overseas experience. And England compared to that was not bad at all.
Aside from Scotland or Venice or Geneva, was being closer to Europe, did anyone give you any travel suggestions or thoughts on other countries that you heard about for the first time?
I sought that out initially, and I was expecting a lot of things from people at church that were, going to advise me and give me all these guidelines, and that never really happened. And I went there just about as confused as I was from day one as to what I was going to do there. So I kind of learned my way around as I went around, and by the end of the week, I was starting to feel, I wouldn't say at home, but livable in London. I could relate to London a little bit, learning the city a little, like the city a little.
Yeah. Give me a sentence or two sentences in your best British accent now that you've been there.
Let me tell you a story. This is a good story about the exit. I was talking to this guy on the phone. I was asking where I could get an adapter to make my chargers work for my phone locally in England. And so he gives me the name of a store, which I think he was saying Henry Bogan. I think that was the name of the store. But I had to ask him like 4 or 5 times to repeat Henry Wogan, and I never did get it. So I said, "Can you spell it?" Well, that didn't really help that much because every syllable they say sounds like It's like an eh and an ooh. So spell it for me. You mean B like boy? Yeah. No, that's not BH. You mean E like every? Yeah. Okay. You mean N like Nancy? Yeah. And it went on like that. So I got Henry Bogan, and I'm probably not even close to what he said.
Yeah. So now you give me a sentence in your best English.
Kind of invert the sentences a little bit, like, to be sure. They'll say the expressions like to be sure.
In it.
What?
They'll end a sentence with in it. That's kind of right, isn't it?
Oh, in it. Yeah,
In it.
yeah. Not to, instead of saying, I don't want to do this, not to do this, not to do this.
Oh, that's a nice way of
Yeah.
approaching it. Yeah.
Right.
Do you think you could cleverly conceal yourself in the London population after a certain amount of time, or do you think you would stick out like a
I would stick out like an American. I don't think that'll ever change.
What day overall would you say was the calmest, most relaxing, most peaceful day?
Friday until I lost my wallet. I mean, I was going to go home.
Your phone?
My phone. I was going to go to the hotel, and I was going to sleep peacefully, and I was going to like that all night, thinking about the great things that happened. And at 15 hours, a 15-hour day, and I withstood it. Now I need a nap, and I was looking forward to that, a good night's sleep, and that didn't happen.
So who should we send this video to try and get you like a free vacation?
Well,
Do we send that to EasyJet? Do we send that to an embassy somewhere? Because you've been through a lot. Like, I feel like anyone who watches this will be like, wow, like, how can we make it up to this guy?
I would send that to maybe the people in Switzerland who would like to outdo the British.
Okay. Did you have a better time in
I
Switzerland?
did. I mean,
You were mostly in France.
they
but-
were, yeah, and they were more foreign to me than the British were. The British at least spoke the language somewhat. But and I didn't have that much of a dealing directly with any of the residents there on the Switzerland side that much, not like I did the English. So I can't say for sure, but I mean, Fernando was good to me, the host, over there. The people at the F1 hotel were good to me.
Yeah, they would have
I
let you
slept
stay
in the
longer.
parking lot. I mean, they could have not liked that, but they were just fine with that, and they were there to help me. So
Last question. We almost spent more time in the air than we did on the land. What was the experience for you? Were you able to sleep on the planes some? Were you comfortable? Did you eat on the plane?
they didn't serve free food on the planes.
That was kind of disappointing.
That was it, because I've never experienced that, but we did get cheap flights. I slept probably better than I ever have on a plane. I did okay.
They charged you up for your bags though,
They charge for the bags,
which
yeah.
was kind of unfortunate,
Hmm.
but
But the flights were cheap even with that extra charge, you know. I would have expected 1250 or 1500
Mhm.
instead of like 700.
Would you just fly with your cameras next time and just buy clothes once you get to wherever you're going?
If I thought I could make that work, um, I had, you know, this being my first trip there, I wanted to make sure I had the camera equipment that I wanted to have, and I was gonna take a monopod and extra stuff like that, and
Do you think you overpacked or underpacked?
I could have done it like you're saying, and if it was a trip that
Oh, my saying is maniacal. I wouldn't recommend that for anybody.
well, I can do that, and I can relate to that. When I go to my Tahoe trips, that's pretty much how I do it.
Mhm.
I've got a bag ready to go. I go home tonight, grab my bag, and I'm off for Tahoe. And I don't take pajamas or a change of clothes. I just make sure I've got my essentials for, you know, hygiene essentials,
Good.
cameras. But it doesn't matter on those because I've got a car. I can take whatever I want.
Uh, if you had to give yourself one piece of advice and you had a time machine, you could time travel and you could talk to yourself in LA before you left from the hotel in LA, what would you tell your future self? You're about to fly to London.
Yeah.
Remember this one thing.
It's the same kind of ultimatums that I actually had that I wasn't able to follow, and that is to book ahead, plan ahead, make sure you know point A and point B and how to get there. But I didn't know how to do any of that.
Hmm. And so, in terms of lessons learned, we've got memories made. So, what would the lessons learned be?
I think with the Switzerland thing, and again, like I say, like I just said, I tried to do this. I would like to have had, in fact, I looked for a plan where I could do my Matterhorn tour in a day, but I couldn't find a day. I could find a week,
Mm-hmm.
you know, but I couldn't find something for a day.
So you're looking for more like guided tours.
Well, I don't really, normally I don't go for guided tours, but I would have on this if I could have found something for maybe $800 that would have taken me for a day to some points on the Matterhorn, taking me up, you know, and I could get some scenics and walk a little bit. And you know, I would have done something like
That
that.
would have been nice.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for your time.
Well, thank you for your time.
Overall, your experience of your trip was
Like you said, the worst vacation story I've ever heard, but it was well worth it, and I'm glad I went.
good. And how have you changed upon arriving back? What was the experience of being back home? How did this trip change you, Roland, as a person?
Well, it took me about 2 weeks to wake up in the morning and know where I am.
Jet lag.
Am I still in London? Do I have to try to find a train or a plane or catch something, you know, to
Will the taxi pick me up at
That's
my
right.
driveway?
That's right. So that was pretty much it. But as a person, no. I mean, I was going to do another trip, you know, as you know, to Birmingham, Alabama, and stuff like that. And I was kind of apprehensive after this trip, and I found a good reason for not going, and which was my glasses. It's a very good reason.
Do you feel wiser?
So hard to answer that. I'm not very good at learning lessons. I go out and do the same things over and over.
Well, travel is very healthy for the
If I
spirit.
trip over something on the sidewalk, I'm going to trip over it several times.
Do you wish you had done this sooner
Uh,
in your life?
well,
You spent a lot of time in Nevada and like the American Southwest taking photos.
so
Any of that,
would I have done this trip at age 38? You might be asking.
or do you wish you had started traveling to Europe earlier in your life?
Uh, no, probably not. I mean, my life has been good. I've worked hard. I've accomplished things, and that's always been my goal to make sure that I'm accomplishing something and not letting time go by and not accomplishing stuff. And I have accomplished plenty.
So we have the United States, North America. We have England, Europe. You've been to Japan. Um, there's more Europe, there's South America, there's China, there's India, Africa. Um, any places that you feel like
Well,
Australia?
South America and maybe the Central America, like Panama, would be interesting, but not to spend a lot of time and just to go there.
Mhm.
If I could do a cheap flight and just go around the world and just do hops and do it like in the movie, like in 30 days,
Mhm.
I would probably do that. Alaska's high on my list, the North Pole area, the where the sun doesn't set or doesn't rise,
Mhm.
you know, to see those kinds of things. That's pretty much what I want to say.
I will help you look for flights and hotels all around the world, and we'll see how fast you can do that.
Okay,
Yeah?
okay,
You want to make a list one day? We can do that.
okay.
Okay.
Maybe we'll do that together.
You should have a companion. I know where I'm going next.
Well, that's true. That's true. I should have a companion. I always,
Maybe Laurel will be down.
yeah. Normally I like traveling alone because I can manage myself. I don't have to, you know, budget my time with someone. What do they want to do? What do I want to do? I can stop, I can start, I can go where I want to go. I can do silly things. I can do off-road stuff and like that. But I have seen firsthand the um, disadvantages of being alone, and certainly the advantages of having someone with me, and those advantages are huge um, in Europe.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think you're off to church.
Okay,
Yeah.